Hello fellow YouTubers. This video is going to be about the STI GP6. I recently got a message from a fellow YouTuber named Vinny asking some questions because there's not a whole lot of information on this gun out there on the web, so I figured it would be a good excuse to do a little mini review and get some of that information out there. So let's get to it. This is the way the gun comes from STI. At least my version came like this in a slim little box. We'll open it up here and show you what you get inside. It's pretty sparse. There's a manual that's not very in-depth, the gun, and a mag. Now, I would say the philosophy of use on this gun is, at least for me, it's a competition gun. It's a really good shooting gun. I like it a lot. I think it's got good ergos on it. But I really, there's some things I'll talk about later that I don't think make it the best suited for a self-defense or a concealed carry gun or anything like that. But I'll try to hit those up. But for me, it's primarily a competition gun. And the reason why STI actually has this gun in the first place, I don't know if you're familiar with them, most people out there, but they kind of are in the 1911 style race gun. And this one kind of stands apart on their website. And the reason why they actually carry this gun is because of the sheer number of USPSA and IDPA and whatever the shooting competitions are over in Europe where this gun's produced. The sheer volume of people that were winning matches and championships with this gun. So they're like, there must be something to it, and they brought it to the American market for specifically the production division, I think, which is a little strange considering that it comes with 17-round mags, but they do make 10-round mags now for it. So anyway, there's that, but I'll talk about that a little bit later too. So to get into some technical specs on this, the size and weight, let's see, the size is it's a 4.5 or 4.25 inch barrel, and the overall length is 7.97 inches. The weight is about 26.1 ounces. It's a double action, single action. It's got a chrome barrel, and it's obviously a polymer gun on the bottom part there. And everything else, if you want more technical specs, you can just look online, go to STI's website. They've got a pretty good layout there. Firepower, it does pretty good. It's pretty standard for polymer guns these days. It's 17 round, at least is what I got with the gun. They do make a 20 round mag. That is short enough to be compliant with the competitions and stuff, so that's good. And I believe they make a 15 round, and I know that they make a 10 round mag for it too. And one kind of caveat on this whole little review here is this gun's a little bit older. I believe the one that came out with in 2011 or 2010, I'm not sure, it actually has interchangeable back straps and maybe even a forward strap here, I'm not sure. So it's slightly different, but it's pretty much the same gun. Alright, moving along on the talking points. Accuracy, I would say, is outstanding on this gun, which is why I have it, and I haven't sold it back. I'm kind of the viewpoint, if I have a gun and I try it out and I don't really like it, or whatever, I don't really have much pride of ownership. If I don't like it, I'll just get rid of it. But I've had this one now for a couple years. I've got probably somewhere around 1,500 rounds through it, mostly in competition, but I'd say probably 75% competition of those rounds. So and that's a pretty conservative guesstimation. I may have anywhere upward of 2,000, but point being, I've got some trigger time on this, and hopefully I can give you some insight onto the gun itself. As far as the accuracy goes, if you do like a bench rest shoot on it or whatever, I have no problem getting this in like 1.5 inch groups at 25 yards, that kind of thing. Standing in the wind and everything, obviously that opens up, but it's very accurate, and part of the reason it is accurate is because of the trigger, and the other part for me is the sights, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but these are not the stock sights on the gun. I had them installed after the fact, so I'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, the accuracy is really good. The double action pull on the gun, first of all, if it's safe. So the double action pull on the gun is long, but it's fairly smooth. I think on the website it says that it's about like a 9-pound trigger pull or something like that. I'm not very good at gauging those things, but that seems about right to me. One feature the gun has also is a safe cock position, so you can kind of set it up to be a little bit smoother if you just bring it back to the safe cock position, and then the double action, it doesn't have to go over that initial little click there, and it's a lot smoother. So it's still the 9 pounds, but it's a lot smoother. And as far as competition goes, I'm pretty sure that the safe cock position is the preferred position. If you have a double action, single action, at least USPSA, that's kind of what I shoot. I believe it has to be in the double action position to start with, and this counts as double action, the safe cock position. And I say I believe and I don't know because actually the range that I shoot at, we don't have quite enough members to be affiliated yet. So you know, we try to go by the rules, but nobody's really stringent about it, and I usually kind of cheat and have it in the single action mode when I start out, which is what most of the guys there do. So now you'll notice there actually another thing. I guess I'm kind of jumping around the talking points a little bit on ergonomics. This gun, and this is kind of one of the areas where it's kind of a hit. I don't know why they did it this way, but it does not have a decocker. So if it's cocked back like this, this safety is merely a safety. It doesn't drop the hammer safely or anything. And if you look in the little manual that comes with it, they're like, okay, basically use this hand for the trigger, this hand for the hammer, and just let it down and be careful. That's what they say. They say be careful. Now I don't really like that. I mean, especially for guns these days, you know, a decocker is pretty standard gear if you've got a double action, single action. So that's kind of a miss. That's one of the reasons why I would not really recommend carrying this for defensive purposes. There's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, you're well within your your rights to do it. I just personally don't really want to have to worry about that. The combination that it's not a decocker, and then the safety lever actually is just a piece of plastic, and it's got a little bit of give in it down here. It's really kind of flimsy. You can see it's ambidextrous, so that's good, but yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the safety levers. They kind of suck. So with those two things combined, I really, like I said, I wouldn't recommend it. But you can if you want. Let's see, what else on ergonomics? The grip angle is very similar, I would say, to most other polymer pistols. I'll just, as way of an example here, here's an XD, the original XD9. You can see it's pretty similar there. One thing I do like ergonomics wise about the GP6 is the beaver tail here. It's been relieved a lot, so when you're holding it, the bore of the gun is as close as possible to your wrist, so you get less recoil impulse. So I think that's really good. It's about the same size pretty much in every way. I don't like the way the beaver tails feel. It's just kind of a pet peeve of mine, as well as the trigger safety pins in there. So as far as that goes, I much prefer shooting this one. I think it's much more comfortable in my hands. The only downside for this is it does not come with interchangeable back straps like most guns do this day. At least that's actually this version. Like I said, this is an older gun. I believe the new ones, like I said, they do come with the interchangeable back straps. So if you're buying one now, just make sure it's a new one. And if you're getting off of Gallery of Guns or something like that, just make sure to look that it's got the interchangeable back straps, because if it's an old one, it doesn't have it. Another comparison of similar type of pistol would be a PPQ, and you see once again it's pretty similar. Really no difference. So if you do have medium-sized hands or even small-sized hands, I don't think you're going to have an issue. The only area I think you might, and if you can get your hands on one to test it before you buy one, that's great. You'll notice that the trigger is kind of a ways out there. It's in the middle. So I don't think you'll have a problem because it's relieved so much that your hand gets nice, right up in there. I mean, you can see how long my thumb is. I've got pretty much medium to medium large hands. I don't really have, big mitts or anything, and I've got absolutely no issue reaching the trigger. But if you do have small hands, that might be a concern for you. Just as a way of comparison there. Let's see what else. So we talked about the controls, the trigger. The trigger. So I mentioned the double action pull on the trigger, but I never actually got around to the single action. So in single action mode, you'll see here just by cocking the hammer back, it's extremely short. It's very, very nice. And the pull, I think they say, is about 4 pounds. Like I said, I can't even tell what the poundage is because it's just such a clean break in short travel. And I'll just kind of try to show you here. So there's a little bit of give, just a little bit, just that much, and then it's a very clean break. I really like the trigger. That's one of the things that has made me keep this gun is the trigger. The reset on it also is just amazing. It's like 1911 or even less, right there. I mean, it's really nice. I love the trigger. Now for me, I'm not the best shooter in the world, so that really makes it easy to get accurate shots. It's a decent size sight radius, and it's got a really sweet single action trigger, so as soon as you get over that first initial, and like I said, it's even smooth, so that's not even that big of a problem. Once you get after that one, and you can rock and roll with this gun. I like it a lot. The recoil impulse on it is not bad at all. I've seen some guys say that they thought that it had a little bit more muzzle flip than other guns, and I'd have to say I've had the exact opposite reaction with this. I think it stays on target a lot better. I can do double taps very quickly with this, much more accurately than with, say, my XD or PPQ. It's a very sweet shooting gun. I like it a lot. Now, one of the things I did do with it, I mentioned before, was change the sights. And it's not because the stock sights are bad. It's just a 3-dot, white paint or whatever it is, 3-dot sight, and they're fine. They're good. But I just wanted something that gave me a little bit more precision. And these sights I've got on are Dawson Precision sights. So I like these a lot because they're fiber optic first. Let's see if I can get it a little bit closer here. Fiber optic, and it's focusing on the back, but you can probably see a little bit of air in between the front post on left and right sides. I like that a lot. For my front sights, as slim as I can get them to get the most air on both sides of the notch, I like, because for me that's faster. I can kind of see the target I'm shooting at, as far as point of aim. I just like it better. So these fiber optics are really good. You can price them on Dawson Precision if you're interested. They sell just the front or the front and back, and they can come with I think red and green light tubes no matter what you get. So if you wanted red back for some reason and a green front, you could do that. Or if you can see green a lot easier than red, you could have a black back with a green front. Whatever, it's you can do whatever you want there. So that's good. Let's see.